Hey guys, just a little thing about mixing. I might show some mix stuff on this. This is the song I got sent.
So sick, so sick. You turned into babies. You were everything. You brought me to my knees. And my world backwards, just your tiny soul. In lovely place backwards, just your tiny soul. In lovely place backwards, now I'm sick on you. So sick.
Yeah, that isn't mixed. If you look, like none of the levels are mixed. Well, it's the way the drum size each. This is MIDI drums. I don't think it might have been played from a MIDI kit, because there's a real drummer did this. I know that. And there's a separate drum kit for each drum part. So the kick, snare. These are crashes possibly also. Anyway, whatever the drum parts are there, each one has its own kit playing just one drum, which then has all the processors after it. Okay, that's as it was sent to me. It wasn't supposed to be their mix or anything, right? And the one I've been messing with is spent about 2 hours on this, I think. No, 2.5 hours, but I had to play the bass, and I haven't played guitar or bass for years. So it took a while to get into it. Still a fair few bum notes, but anyway. Okay, I just mixed this on headphones, so it might be a bit bottom heavy and what have you.
So sick. So sick. You turned to baby. You were everything. Brought me to my knees. And my world backwards, your twisted small. Back in place, backwards, just in front of you. In another place, backwards, now I'm sick on you. So sick. Now I'm sick on you. So sick. I missed my bus again. It's a long way on backwards to get me up again. Half days before, I missed those times again. Out of my mind backwards turned into a beat. Now the knees backwards, now I'm sick on you. So sick. Now I'm sick on you. So sick. Now I'm sick on you. So sick on you. So sick. So sick on you. So sick on you. So sick on you. So sick. So sick on you.
But I want to take that cymbal out at the end. I don't know whether to put a gate over the kit or something. I could get the stereo audio file and just bounce the drums down or something. But I want the drums to just completely cut on that last phrase of the vocal to just sick on you. I might even cut the drums before that, so that final phrase, cut all the music before that, so that final phrase of the vocal just comes through on its own, like. Like this is it at the end, right?
So sick on you.
So the on you.
On you.
So if all the music cut there. And these ones fade ended down. I like endings that just end. You know what I'm saying? But we're still going to get that crash up, that ringing hat or whatever it is. But like this at the end. Yeah, that kind of thing. But the drums. What's playing that last cymbal there? I think that's sustaining that hi-hat, but you can't see drum names. Well, let me try choking that crash out. Still something really ringing there. What is it? Oh, it's the ride. Okay, so through the room. So let's try putting a gate on it. Hang on. Gate. It's not a very good gate in Logic. All my IK multimedia plugins are messed up. Let's try this. Just put a circle around that. Extreme that. Well, another thing we could do is this. No, let's not do that. Let's do it like this instead. We'll just use the mix automation on that bus. This is the stereo bus of the kit, not the individual drums. Come on. We'll just drop that like a... Can we put a vertical? Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, right, let's hear that. What? It's coming through one of the individual outs, isn't it? I don't want to... Going to gate those two then, but they haven't got tracks on the multi-track, so I don't want to gate them. I mean, create track. Now, the volume level there, that invisible line almost should be the level of that drum. Come on. There we go, and then another one there. Let's hear that. Sounds a bit weird, but with the vocal master. What? Oh, everything's crapping out now. What the hell? Why is it all going to hell? Distorting. Going nuts. Come on. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I got it on low buffers because I was playing the bass live. Let's try that. I've got a lot of other programs open though, so maybe I just need to close and reopen everything. Come on! I'm screen capturing at the same time, so. Whoa! Yeah, like that. That's the ending I want. Yes, man. Let's have it from further back.
Now the knee backwards now. I'm sick on you. So sick. Now I'm sick on you. So sick. Now I'm sick on you. So sick on you. So sick. So sick on you. Sick on you. So sick on you. So sick. So sick on you.
Yes. Yeah, anyway, there you go. So look, I mean, I'll never get this mix the same because you never do the same mix twice, but what I did was I bounced all the individual drum parts down to just one drum region. They were all separate regions for each individual drum, right? And then I put the Modo drum on it. I love this Modo drum. And I'm using this kit, which I've slightly tweaked, not much. I brought the snare hits closer to the edge of the rim and turned up the loudness of the stick a little bit and widened the area a bit that the snares are hitting, if you know this software. For the kick, I left it on a felt beater, heel up, that's all the same. I think for the snare, I changed the snare to the Black Oyster, not the grungy snare, and I've set it to a medium rather than large wires and increased the tension a lot and turned tom buzz down because it was ringing the tom. In the mixer I changed the room, I think. No, I lowered the room a bit. I think that's the room. Room. That room. I think it was in that one. Lowered the room slightly. I got it on separate outs, so they're all on separate outs. So I've lowered the overheads a bit. They're dropped down by the mix automation now, but look, I lowered those down a bit. Otherwise, I don't think I changed it that much, apart from maybe turn the ride right up because it wouldn't be that high normally. That's all I did. Oh, also, I think with the kick, I turned down the snare buzz so it wasn't making a snare buzz. Okay. Now, separate outs for the drums. On the kick, there is some compression in the built-in mixer on the kick and the snare, I think, on both. But I put an 1176, this is one of the Logic EQs, on the kick with these settings, low cut at 50, quite high up kick drum boost, not really deep at 60, quite a lot of boost, 10 dB of boost at 110, and a lot of, nearly 5 dB of 700 Hz boost to get a sort of a bumping kick and some high-end This is a fixed 12k shelf, right? Just to give it a little bit of extra click at the top, but it's not too clicky and scooped. It's not scooped at all. The snare, I'm giving it 3 dB of boost down at 360 Hertz and just over 1 dB of boost at 110. Low cutting it at 80 Hertz, so I'm boosting the wood bottom end of it quite a lot. 7.7 dB of 12k shelf. And then the snare is going through a SAR1R reverb. I'm putting just a tiny smidge of pre-delay on with a bright setting. That just lifts it out of the mix a bit. And then the kick is then going into a compressor. Not massively compressing it, but it's giving it some extra compression. But with the snare, to get that thwack out of it, I put the console 1 on. Now I haven't got the hardware module line connected up, so I haven't got the console 1 display. But this is the plug-in display. I'm just using it for the SSL 4000 compressor. And I'll give it some real SSL channel compressor smackdown with that, which gets that incredible whack, that stuck, slurping smack like that. But I'm also giving it some high frequency boost to bring out the cracking upper frequency edge of that snare, because on the channel itself I'm using the 1073 to boost the low tones, the 110 and the 360. So I've got no upper mid available because there's only this one mid. So if I wanted to use 3.2, 4.8, whatever, they can't be used because I'm boosting at 360. So that console 1 is just really about that channel compressor to really smack down that snare, and I'm giving it drive, right? But I say a little bit of treble at what frequency is that? I don't know, but it's somewhere. It's somewhere around 3k, I think, 3 to 4k. Now the bass, I played the bass myself. I split the bass. So I've got a warm bass, compressed, and I've got a grungy bass, more trebly with overdrive. They're blended together to get my bass sound. The guitars, I've just slightly panned them apart, and I've added an amplitude to one to give it a bit more metallic, a bit more treble grit, fuzz, whereas the other one's more like this. And the one I've re-EQ'd is this. A little bit more grinding, right? And the two together panned apart a bit. They're going to their own bus. The two bass channels are going to their own bus, and all the vocals are going to their own bus. And that's it, really. I've raised the shelf on the hi-hats to bring them out. The crash has got some compression to keep it under control, and the ride, I've raised the shelf a lot to bring the ride out, and that's being compressed. On the stereo bus, which is the overheads only for the drum kit, this isn't being used at all, that kit channel. I'm compressing it, not massively, but I'm giving it some makeup gain, and then I roll the fader down actually. This isn't being used. So the guitars are being summed here. They're panned slightly left, right. They're being summed here. They're being gated, so they cut out in these gaps. There are gaps in the music where it goes like this.
I'm sick on you, so sick.
Yeah, I wanted, they were going and squeaking and squealing in those gaps, or just making a buzz, so I just dipped them down with the gate there. Then I go into this graphic, just putting a little bit of upper lift on both of them there. That's a Logic graphic, by the way, if you didn't know it existed. It's one of the new vintage plugins. It's an emulation of an API graphic. It's a useful little thing, that. Then it's going into the 1073, and I'm low cutting at 80. I'm just giving it some both guitars in the stereo bus, because this is stereo. Some treble at 4.8k and a little bit of 12k lift. The bass comes to this bus, both basses, and they're going through this Drama 1073, 100% wet. I'm really rolled the compression off, but I've gone for punch, and it's just giving it a little bit of extra punch, and then after that it goes into another compressor where I'm smacking it down a bit more. The vocals all come to this bus. They're getting de-essed because there's some overdrive of some type on the original mic recordings, right, which is sort of increasing the sibilance on the treble. So I'm just ducking down the sibilance a bit with that. Then they go into the 1073. I'm giving them some low mid body, but I'm cutting them quite high up at 160 to roll off the bottom end a lot at 160, you know, like take out most of the bottom end, because there was a lot of popping on the mic. 220 boost to bring a lot of body back into the lower mid, the very low mids, where it starts crossing into bass territory, and some extra warmth at 700 Hz. Nearly 3 dB boost there, but no top end boost at all from this. Well, 0.5 of a dB, it's negligible, but a little bit of extra drive. And then they go into a comp where they're not getting much. Look at the threshold. They're not getting, but I brought the makeup gain up there. Then they go into the Sonar reverb, but again I'm using pre-delay. But that's giving it that little bounce back on the vocals. And then they go into the Abbey Road, where I'm using this to bring out the edge of the words at 2.7K. These Abbey Roads from Softtube are brilliant. It's quite a cheap little pack, but they really have an amazing effect of bringing out the clarity of words. These two frequencies are where all the presence of the vocals are, where the word edge of consonants are formed of words, or the top of the mouth, right? And then it goes into a limiter, because I wanted it loud enough, but I wanted to keep it quite sort of, I didn't want any peaks, so I'm just limiting it, right? And that's it. I tried it with a spreader, that didn't work. So what I've done is I've got 3 vocals in the balance. 2 are panned left right, and the centre one I've put the spreader on that, and that just adds that spread. That's it. There's nothing else. That's your mix.
So sick, you take me to A, B. You work everything, what is till I need. Out of my world, that looks familiar, twisted smart. Back being placed backwards, just in time with you. In another place backwards now, I'm sick on you. So sick, now I'm sick on you. So sick.
To be honest, the guitars and basses might be a smidge loud, but if you drop them too much, you lose all that power.
So sick, you take me to A, B. You work everything, what is till I need. Out of my world, that looks familiar, twisted.
Anyway, there it is. That's what I did basically. I can't really show you getting that same mix again, because you could never mix the same song twice, but I hope that's useful, just showing you the bass. If you listen to it, it's well rough, but I say I ain't played for years and years, my fingers are weak and you can hear that smack down on the snare from that, and that is that SSL channel comp on the Softtube mostly. Gives it some real welly, that it really does. yeah, anyway, hope that's useful. See ya.